Okay. What's up, YouTube? Joseph here, and I'm giving you guys a version 3 deck profile for Harpie and Link. So I'm pretty much giving everybody a variety of what you can play with Harpies right now in terms of Link. This is going to be another rank 4 version of the Harpie deck, but this is purely Harpie. With the exception of one monster. That's just because that one monster didn't fit in. So, I did like this version took a tons of just sitting there and trying to figure stuff out, trying to work stuff in, work stuff out. With Harpies, you have a good offense, but we kind of still lack a ton of defense. So it does kind of try to make up for itself in the terms of that department. But other than that, I really did enjoy building this version, so I'm gonna have a lot of fun showing this version off. And there's a lot of cards in it that when I showed off the demonstration video, the discussion video, I talked about a lot of the combos. So a lot of stuff is gonna come in and out in the video. So I wanted to show off the ins and outs and everything. So let's get to started. So for the first one, we're gonna start off with our monster lineup. All 15 Harpies. Harpie Chandler, pretty much Harpie's main engine. Discard a Harpie card, just summon a Harpie monster from your deck in defense. There's no dragons in here, so the effect of this monster's level changes from 4 to 7. If you control a dragon type monster, won't apply. Unless one of your extra deck monsters is on the field that's a dragon. But primarily this deck is going to be rank 4 spam for pretty much the entire part of the deck. So that effect does not apply. The only other effect that will apply is she is Harpie Lady while she's on the field or in the graveyard. That includes Harpie Dancer, Harpie Harpist, and Harpie Queen. So that is Harpie Chandler. Next is Harpie Dancer, like I said, 15, and I'm running the triple Dancer just to make tons of combo plays when it comes to Divine Wind, which I have in the main deck as well. And another additional card, Harpie Dancer. Low stats allow her to get under Bottomless Trap Hole, and just allows her to do a lot more plays than some of her higher attacked Harpies in this deck. So, and of course you can abuse her with Hunting Ground to blow up multiple back row. So that's Harpie Dancer. Next is Harpist, pretty much the Winged Beast level 4 Scar. Her other effect, when she's level summon, she can bounce one Winged Beast you control and one face-up monster your opponent controls back to hand. So that does give you some plays as well. Especially if you decide to run the Kaiju version of Harpies, you can easily abuse Harpie Harpist and Harpie Dancer in a combination to blow back some Kaiju monsters, so you can clear your opponent's monster zones. Love Harpies for that effect, actually, to bounce stuff. I rarely use it, but trust me, when you use it, you use it. I just mainly use her like most players do. You can discard her with Harpie Chandler, so you can search summon Harpie monsters, or you can discard a Harpie, summon her, exceed, and try to send her off to the graveyard as fast as possible. So you can search for a level 4 Winged Beast monster with 15 or less attack. So that's Harpist. Harpie Queen. The Queen of the Harpies. Our 19 beater, our field spell searcher. One of the best offensive plays you can play with this deck. Send a Queen to the graveyard so you can load up for Hysteric Party and go get your field spell. So that's Queen. And to wrap it up, my 15 Harpie lineup, I'm running one of each version of a Harpie Lady. I'm running Harpie Lady 1, and Cyber Harpie Lady. My Elegant Egotist targets, I wanted to show off this variation using Harpie Lady because, of course, Harpie Lady is a vanilla. She doesn't have a monster effects, so stuff like Fiendish Chain can't hurt her, breakthrough skill, stuff like that. Same thing with Cyber Harpie, because Cyber Harpie's effect is not an effect, it's a condition. She's always treated as Harpie Lady no matter where she is. That applies to Harpie Lady 1, 2, and 3, but Breakthrough Skill does negate their other additional effects. Harpie 1 being to give 300 attack to all wind monsters. Harpie 2, when she destroys a monster by battle, she negates the flip effect if it has a flip effect. And Harpie 3, who stuns a monster for 2 turns. So I did want to get the variety of Harpie Lady, so I put in one of each. Cyber, Harpie 1, and normal monster Harpie Lady. And the last monster in this deck, because I tried to make it even, is one Maxi, because Maxi. Alright, so the spells. I'm rocking Triple Hysteric Sign. I love this card. This is one of my favorite spells in the Harpie archetype next to Feather Duster. The fact that you can blow it up during the end phase, you can blow it up or discard it, and during the end phase, you can add 3 cards with Harpie in its name that are different from each other to your hand, so you can replenish your hand. And now that we finally have Featherstorm, we have a trap that we can search for, and a very good trap. And I'll get to that card when I get to the traps. Other than that, if you activate it, you can add Elegant Aegis from your deck or graveyard to your hand, so you can have faster access to it, especially in this version, because you want to have access to your Harpie monsters as fast as possible. Just note that you can't activate both effects in the same turn, so pick wisely. Most of the time, you can just easily discard it with Hysteric Party, or you blow it up thanks to Hunting Grounds effect. Are just some of the many cases in which you can get the final effect of searching for cards. So that's Hysteric Sign. I am rocking 2 Hunting Ground. I am still opting to run 3rd in another version because that quick play spell, the one that puts spell cards from your deck to the field. So I'm trying to deal with that. I know I have the anti-spell fragrance combo to help assist that, but I do want to try to fit in a 3rd Hunting Ground so that I can support my deck even more. If in case I do lose both of my Hunting Grounds, I want to have the other option. Besides Divine Wind, but I'll get to Divine Wind in a minute. But this card turns every Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sister you know, special summon into an MST. With Hysteric Party, note that this card's rewording says that when Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters are summoned, the conductor of the summon selects one spell or trap on the field and has to destroy it. So that does clarify the older versions of Hunting Ground. Other than that, it gives you 200 additional attack and defense to all your winged beast monsters. So next, I know this is kind of odd, but I'm running 2 Elegant Aegis. One reason is because I want to see it a lot more. 2 is because I was trying to opt out to not have to run. Well, I'm still debating if I want to run it or not. I'm probably going to run the 3rd Hunting Ground in place of the 2nd Ego, because Sign can go get the Ego from the graveyard in case I use it. So, but I did want to see it as fast as possible, especially in this version, like I said, because this version just has the 15 Harpies. So that's why there's only 2 Aegis targets in here. Well, the 3 Aegis targets, and I'm kind of debating in a later video if I want to use Sisters or not. So that's why the 2 are here. And I know some of the OCG players were playing 2 at a point, which gave me some inspiration to run 2 as well, just in case I can see it. I didn't see my sign. I at least want to see an Aegis. So that's Ego. Next, Inferno Reckless Summon. And that's also part of the reason why Harpie Lady 1, the vanilla Harpie Lady, is in here. Besides Harpie Dancer and a Chandler without the Hunting Ground, those are pretty much my only real targets for Inferno, because Harpie Lady 1 gives herself the additional attack power. So I didn't know if Inferno would be a good option. When I thought about it, I was like, well, let's try it out because I did talk about Inferno in my video, and I'm sure there are pretty much a ton of Harpie players that still play Inferno Reckless Summon. For those who don't know what Inferno Reckless Summon does, when you use such summon a monster with 15 or less attack from to the field, your opponent controls a face-up card. You can such summon as many monsters with the same name as that monster to your field from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So because Queen, Chandler, Dancer, and Harpist are Harpie Lady, whether on the field or in the graveyard, you can Inferno Reckless Summon off of a Harpie Lady or a Harpie Dancer and get more Harpie stuff on the board in addition to Hysteric Party and Elegant Egotist. I did want to bring up Inferno Reckless Summon in my Harpie Dragon video, but I didn't really think about it at that point because the only dragon it could affect was Harpie Set Baby Dragon, and those effects don't stack if you use a Harpie Set Baby Dragon, as far as I'm aware of. So I just opted to not use them. But Inferno, like I said, it's just a quick play spell version of a Hysteric Party, or rather a Soul Charge. Just, I have to have an opponent's monster face up to do this, and a monster with 15 or less. And that's why Vanilla Harpie Lady is in the deck as it is, in addition to Harpie Dancer. So that's Inferno. Following Inferno is Divine Wind of the Mist Valley. With the effects of Harpist and Dancer, this card becomes really great, especially when I want to go into my Link plays or my Exceed plays. Similar to Hysteric Party and Inferno, I just want to see as many Harpies as I can get on the board, get into a Decode Talker or a Firewall Dragon, and then just get the links on the board so I can go into the Exceeds and just go from there. And plus, it does help you get a great board of Harpie monsters, and once you drop a hunting ground, you can easily set up your board for a ton of heavy beaters. So that's Divine Wind. My last two spells in the deck are Dark Hole and Regeki for the monster wipe. So that's the spells. For my traps, I'm rocking, of course, triple Harpie's Feather Storm. I love this card for all of its effects. Despite the fact that the last effect the TCG doesn't have access to because we don't have Feather Duster. So I'm still many of those players who are hoping Feather Duster gets unbanned so that the last effect of Feather Storm can be used. So I'll read off each of the effects for those who don't know. Feather Storm, first effect, if you control a wind wing beast monster, negate the effects of all your opponent's monster effects till the end of the turn. So that does mean effects in the graveyard, effects in the hand, so no hand traps, and the effects of monsters on the board. It doesn't stop lingering effects or continuous effects, so it doesn't stop stuff like Vanity's Fiend, and I think Majesty's Fiend. But it does stop, like I said, hand traps, so no Ghost Ogres, Stow Rabbits, no Joyous Springs, no Max Seed, no Veiler, so it helps with that, and it helps with like stuff in the graveyard trying to go off. If you control a Harpie monster, you can play this card from your hand, so of course, it's a Harpie card, why not? And then the last effect, if this card was destroyed in the Untitled Chapter zone by your opponent's card effect, you can add one Harpie's Feather Duster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. TCG still has not unbanned Feather Duster, so that last effect is unfortunately irrelevant. But with Hysteric Sign, you can easily search for this card. If we had access to putting cards back in our deck, that'd be great too, outside of Jar of Avarice and Transmigration Prophecy. There's only cards that I can think of off the top of my head that puts traps back into the deck. I'm pretty sure there's a few, but yeah. But that's Feather Storm. Hysteric Party, which I'm running 3 of. I'm rocking a lot of 3 of just because I want to see them as much as I possibly can. Hysteric Party is one of them. To discard a Harpie card from my hand, discard a card from my hand, so summon as many Harpie ladies from my graveyard. The Queen, Chandler, Dancer, and Harpist, and any variation of Harpie Lady is pretty much who I want to see on the board as soon as possible. In combination with the fact that you have enough stuff to support a beater beatdown scenario, and I've done that before where I've just had a Harpie Lady 1, a Hunting Ground, and pretty much any variation of Harpie Lady on the board, like a Cyber Harpie, 2 or 3 Harpie Queens, a Harpie Chandler, or a Harpist, and I'm ready to go off. You can exceed, you can link summon into other monsters so that your board is just prepped for anything to come your way. And you can easily just discard a card like Harpist or discard Hysteric Sign to get party going and then get their effects off. To follow up, I have some defensive card, Storming Mirror Force. Like I said, with Storming Mirror Force, I wanted to keep the wind aspect, the bounce aspect, in this. You won't see Compulse, because Compulse is kind of bad, because you can't target stuff. Or targeting stuff becomes an issue. So that's why there's no Compulse. But I did opt for Battle Trap, and I chose between, it was either between this or Mirror Force, and I just figured to go with the wind setup, so I chose Storming as my Battle Trap. Following that up, 2 Anti-Spell Fragrance, which has always been a relatively combo card with Harpies, because you can pretty much force your opponent to set their spells, blow their spells up. Although you have to set your own, that's perfectly fine. But if you get this and a hunting ground set up and enough stuff to protect it, you're pretty much good. And this really does stop those heavy spell decks, or just helps you weed out a lot of problematic spell cards that you want to get rid of as soon as possible. And with Harpies, you can easily do that because of hunting ground. The last 2 traps in this deck are Torrential Tribute and Solid Warning, just to have them in here. So that's them. And then for my extra, 2 Decode Talker. Welcome to Link format. Is pretty much what this card does. It can negate stuff that targets cards that it's pointing to by sending those targets to the graveyard. He gains 500 attack for each card that he's pointing at, so that's not too bad. Really good generic. Still kind of hard to get onto the board because it needs 3 effect monsters. I could use other links, but I don't have access to a Firewall Dragon at the moment. And I figure, like a lot of people said, Firewall is probably going to get reprinted anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. But still, a relatively awesome monster in his own, and he helps me get into my link setup when I need to. So thanks, Decode Talker. Following Decode Talker are my extra monsters is 2 Harpies Pet Phantasmal Dragon. The Harpie's boss monster. He needs 3 wind monsters to summon, which isn't hard. Protects my Harpies from being targeted by card effect and targets for battle. Can attack my opponent directly. Note, during each of your end phases, you have to detach material from this card if it has material. So you can easily just one-shot, make another dragon, and keep going. Which I've done sometimes as well. So one of my favorite extra deck monsters, the Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. I'm rocking 2 Castel and 2 Lightning Chidori, which are some staples in the Harpie toolbox. Chidori can bounce set cards when he's Exceed Summon. Once a turn, he can detach material, select the face-up card on the field, and send it to the top of the deck. With cards like Anti-Spell Fragrance, you can easily abuse his ability. Castel can also assist Chidori by setting cards for 1 material, or for 2 material, he can send it directly back to the deck and shuffle a card into the deck. Unlike Chidori, Castel is a winged beast, so cards like Featherstorm could be useful to him. He'll gain the additional attack from Harpie 1 and the additional attack from Harpie's Hunting Ground. Unlike Chidori, he'll only gain from Harpie 1, but it's not too bad. Next is Ice Beast Zerofyne. Love her. She negates the effects of all face-up cards your opponent controls. Their effects are negated till your next standby phase. For each face-up card on the board, she'll gain 300 attack. So, if you can stack up enough cards, she can possibly be a powerhouse for your opponent to deal with. I am unfortunately only running 1 for right now. But if I had the chance, I could probably fit in another one for some other cards. But yeah, that's Ice Beast Zerofyne. And for Harpies, it's real easy to make her because she needs to winged beast. So next, my trifecta of monsters of genericness. XYZ Reborn. I mean, Dark Rebellion, XYZ Dragon, Emerald, and Cowboy. Cowboy, they 800 burn. Emerald is just a pot of avarice, and Rebellion can shrink a monster my opponent controls attack in half, and I can give him half of that attack so he can beat over stuff. And following them, Koragorgon, the Anti-Luminescent Knight, 1 Silent Honor Arc, and 1 Giant Hand. These two are just generic level 4s. Koragorgon helps me redirect card effects to other cards, like MSTs, Effect Veilers, just anything that targets, I can redirect it with Koragorgon. Even my own Hunting Ground, so I can blow up other stuff. So that's pretty much it for this deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, and till next time.